Hey everybody, welcome to Open the Gates. I'm your host Matt Burke, and tonight we're going to be having on Michael Bancroft. We're going to trust the threshold into his world of the Lucent. So if you guys could give a warm welcome for Mike. What's up,
Hello,
Mike? How you
hello.
doing?
Good. Great to be here. Thank you, Matt.
Oh, for sure, man. Long time no see, man.
It
How's
has been,
everything been?
hasn't it?
It's been a minute, man.
The days just blend into weeks, the weeks into months, and then the months into years. It
Right?
really is like that. So, I mean, I'm always doing the same. It's just nonstop work, and but yeah, I was just telling you just before, I wouldn't have it any other way. I enjoy this. I'm
Well,
quite weird like that.
you're good at it, man. And I was actually telling my lady the other day, like I'm like, you should check out this guy Bancroft, man. He's got a very militant schedule. He's not military, but it's very militant. Like he has everything structured the way, like to a T. And
It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to make
totally,
it work.
yeah, to have a full time job and to still make well, comic books or sequential art, however you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
Um, I've known you for a few years now, but for maybe some of the viewers that are watching that don't know you, maybe you can tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yep. I'm Michael Bancroft. I am the writer and artist of The Lucent, which is an ongoing comic book series. I also have a YouTube channel, Michael Bancroft, where I stream, talk mostly about indie comics, Comicsgate, that sort of stuff. Also, a little bit of pop culture and stuff as well. I am a graphic designer, a family man, yeah, all around super busy guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I remember like some of the early videos that you used to do back in the day, like with CG and whatnot. The
Hmm.
ones with EVS, or those are freaking hilarious with Spider-Man.
Oh
And oh
yeah,
man,
used to animate. Yes, of course.
yeah, and that was just hilarious, man. Then later on, started finding out about your book, and I backed it and thought it was awesome, man. And just the world, your artwork, your style, the way you do it. You have a plethora of different, again, videos on how you draw and how to color,
Hmm.
and a wellspring of different knowledge. That's what kind of got me more into you, as a fan, and us watching your show. But I was wondering, man, what were some of like your inspirations, like coming up, like as far as like maybe drawing and stuff for comics?
Oh, well, back in the day, originally, I was just trying to copy guys like Mark Bagley and other
Solid.
people who were drawing Spider-Man at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, I found out about McFarlane, and that was
Mhm.
just like,
Oh,
and then actually, but that was also just kind of a bad thing because it just seemed so outside of the realm of possibility. I was like, how could I possibly draw stuff this crazy and cool and everything? And I sort of ended up drifting away from art because of that. And also, I remember reading a Wizard magazine where someone was saying, I've got 50 kids who can draw better than Todd McFarlane lined up, ready to come onto a book. And I was like, what?
right.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just give up now.
So discouraging,
Um, yeah.
sort of.
And so I kind of put the whole drawing comic stuff to the side. I was still reading and collecting for a while, um, you know, in and out as life goes.
Yeah,
And, I started writing this story over many years just as something to do on the side to, just I felt like I needed to. And I wasn't thinking of making a comic, because to me, comics were Spider-Man and Ghost Rider and Spawn and stuff.
yeah.
Not my story at all. I found these French books that I do have sitting around here somewhere. These albums
These BDs.
and these BDs, bande dessinée. And I was just completely blown away. I was like, what is this? These look like how I see my story in my head.
Yeah,
Could I do this? And then I just decided, well, it's not really I just have to do it. This is what my story is. It's supposed to be like this. Let's learn how to do it. And here I am all these years later, still trying to do that.
that's awesome, man. Um, Bagley. I liked Bagley growing up too. A lot of people kind of hark on his style, but I always thought he was a solid dude. Like as far for his like the way he did Venom and Carnage and Spider-Man. I liked his style.
He was the perfect guy for me at that time. I was 11 years old. I mean, he was just like Spider-Man was cool. He was all really sinewy but super strong. Like he was the thin. Bagley drew him thin, but very muscly.
Yeah, and he was the adult.
He was an adult.
Right?
Yeah. And that's why I don't get these new things like, oh, if we want to appeal to kids, we have to make kids. Yeah. No. I came in, I learned about Spider-Man when he was an adult. He was married. And there was no issue with that. It was like,
it was cool.
Yeah, it's like, oh look, this is a hero. You know, he's an adult. And but yeah, no, the style and everything and the villain, the whole thing, I was really into that. As I grew a bit older, I actually went back to the 80s and I started liking those guys a bit more. But no, I still very much think that's a really big missing piece in comic books today is they're not making it look cool to 11-year-old boys.
Yeah, they don't just pick it up and say, "Oh, wow, this is something, you know, that I can relate to," or this is like blowing my mind.
Like, oh, this is super cool. Like this makes me want to actually check this out, you know?
Yeah, totally, man. As far as like writing goes, did you have any like inspirations for your comic, you know, when you're creating it? Is there anybody that you really like?
As far as the writing goes, that I attribute mostly to novels and movies. I was a voracious reader of novels before I started drawing a comic. I had to put all that aside, which is a shame because that's actually my favorite thing to do is read novels. But I've got no time for that anymore. And I know everyone says you should just read audio novels. It's just not the same to me because I would do that while I'm drawing. I'm like, I'm not in the story. I'm drawing and sort of just being distracted. So
you're solving troubleshooting on the other side of your brain and then trying to
exactly. Yeah, it's like you're kind of multitasking, and it's actually quite exhausting to do.
Yeah, it's running your brain out.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of fantasy novelists, you know, all the big ones like Tolkien and but a bunch of other ones that I can't even remember all the names of, and sci-fi and stuff like that. That's much more my influence rather than comic book stuff. I really did come to this from the storytelling side of things.
For sure, man. And as far as like when you're writing a story, do you type up the whole plot? Also the story, the dialogue, or do you and then thumbnail it out, or you do that before? And do you do that in a notebook, or you do that on the computer? Like, what's your process for that?
Well, I've only done it the once, and originally this story was, I was kind of writing it like a novel, and that was a whole big disaster. But it was great because I learned how to write, and I learned how what you shouldn't be doing. But when I started breaking it down to go into a graphic novel series, I just wrote a full history, just like a synopsis history of the entire story that relates to what's going to be in the books and what doesn't. And then from that, I can draw kind of scenes. And what I would do is I'd actually go on a walk or something where I could be alone with my thoughts. And I would just watch these scenes in my head. And then I would write down what I saw, including
the Geronimo does.
I could.
Geronimo was on here the other night. He did the same thing. I'm like, damn, I got to try that now. You're talking about the walk. I got to try that.
Yeah, too. The walk is good. The shower is good. Anywhere where you're alone and you don't have anything else to distract you. There's something actually about walking, the physical. I think it gets everything working together. Like the machine is pistons going at full speed. But I write things down, and then I shelve that. I put it away and I don't look at it for months because I want to forget what I wrote, and I want to forget the scene almost, and then come back to it as a reader. Okay. And then I'll know, okay, is this working? What's right here? What's wrong? Okay. And then I can start tinkering like that. That's how I do it. And that's all just in nothing serious, because I'm the artist. I don't have to, break it down into panels and everything. I just type away
handle
and
it there.
kind
And
of
then if
remember
you
everything. Yeah.
sometimes if you put too much in there, it's like kind of constructive, and you're like chaining down the work. And sometimes maybe it's good to have that like room for it to breathe, so you don't have everything set
Yeah,
in
well, I
stone so
always
much.
put too much. Like when I'm writing, I'm just like writing, and then because I know a lot of it, probably most of it, will get trimmed out. So yeah, that's kind of, you just like go at it. Don't worry if it sucks or if it's not in voice or whatever, not in character. Don't worry if there's there's a potential plot hole getting set up here. Just go for it, and you can kind of mold it later. This is just that period. Like if you imagine if you're making a clay sculpture, you're just really putting clay together and getting a basic shape out.
And then
That's
as far
all.
as like, do you do your thumbnails? Do you do those on digital, or do you go about those doing them?
I do everything digital. Everything, yeah. So I'll actually put what I've gotten there. Once I've trimmed it down a bit, I'll put those words and some notes as to what it is onto a page and actually lay that out on a page.
Oh,
And
nice.
then thumbnail from that.
That's
So
cool, man.
then I start envisioning with the dialogue. All right, what would be the best kind of way to view this scene? And how many panels do I want on it? And that's the stuff. So I do that with the
So
dialogue and everything as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, like again, I'm a newbie. I'm making comics. I used to, but I
am too.
But you're pro level, like the way you do a lot of your stuff. So what I would do is I would type out every single panel, like what I would like. There's the camera is on the bottom right hand of the screen, like it's a movie, like I'm storyboarding.
Yep.
It's a worm's eye view, and this character's on the left of the camera, like this character's also in the foreground. This guy's in the midground. This guy's in the background. All that. Now I don't do that shit no more. Now I'm just like, fuck that, because it's
you're your own artist. So yeah, that seems to me to be a colossal annoyance and waste
10 years of that.
I had to do that with Rod. Yeah, I had to do that with Rod on a 32-page book. It took me forever. I'm like, page 7 panel. I'm like, oh my god, this is a nightmare. Because usually I'm just like, and I edit on the page. I'll put it in. I'll make a little like kind of fake speech balloon. And that's too big, and then I'll cut stuff out. And
I could do a little speech right there or something cool.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta know, man. What's your favorite band? You got a favorite like metal band or rock band or something?
Favorite picking. That's like asking your favorite child.
I always do that.
I mean, if we're talking, let's talk the Lucent, right? Because it's the music has been very important inspiration for the story. So I used to go to bands all the time, and I would get it'd be like plugging a recharge in my battery for like getting all pumped up creatively. There's an Australian band called Dead Letter Circus that they would always kind of get me in the right headspace for the Lucent. I don't know what you would call them. They're kind of like alternative metal rock.
That's cool.
I don't know. I don't know what they are, but they were cool. I don't know if they're still going, but I love them. I seriously couldn't give you a favorite band. I listen to everything.
That's good, man. Yeah, I like to have a bunch of different bands to listen to. I have a lot of different styles I like. Like even when I'm like working, I like to listen to movie scores a lot. Those are fun. Just to have the big I like Basil Polidorus, the guy that did RoboCop and Conan the Barbarian, James Newton Howard, Hans Zimmer. There's just a lot.
And it's especially if you're writing as well, you can have that stuff on because there's no words. Because I feel like anytime there's talking, that interferes with the process.
Yeah, there's two different people talking. There's yourself in your head, and then it's the vocalist from the band or whatnot, or the singer. Yeah, man. I noticed too that with your new book, I'm gonna go ahead and say it looks a lot more epic, dude. Like everything's bigger, you have these
you kind of have to, I feel.
Right?
Well, in the first one, it's really, I mean, we do see some other stuff, but it really is about Ella, and Ella lives a very small life. It's very contained in this tiny little space. So that's sort of you're seeing the Ella is the linchpin of the story, because we go on that journey down the rabbit hole with her. We learn as she learns. and that's what this is. It's like now she's finding out about all this other stuff. At the same time, I have the thing where, you know, I've got kind of multiple timelines moving forward at the same time, some of them thousands of years in the past, and they're getting bigger and they're getting more epic, and they're going to eventually, you know, get larger and larger as the millennia go on. Obviously civilization starts to come into play, and then everything like that. So I think that's how it has to be, because sequels are supposed to be that. They're supposed to be the next big step, and
Yeah, right.
it has to, things have to get, the heat has to turn up, things have to get more serious, the stakes are higher, more dangerous, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
It's almost like when you're doing the sequel, it either has to be just as good or better, but it can't be any worse, you know. And sometimes it's hard to do that. Like even with movies, I'm talking mostly like it was Terminator 2, right? That was just first movie is a techno slasher, and then the second movie is arguably the biggest action movie of all time. And then you have Aliens, which is a haunted house, you know, creature movie, and then this Alien, and then Aliens is a you know, commando movie. You know, it's a war movie with aliens. It's even bigger. What I did like about your, like, the promos for the new book, just the character coming up out of the blood in this massive like temple, really cool, like immersive art, man. Photogenic life. That really drew me in. And then there's this massive like monolithic scorpion man. Didn't know what that was either.
The Scorpion Men are taken from the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is the oldest story that we as humans have left. And in that story, there are these men. In the story, they're actual men. And what I wanted to do is, like, how can I blend this Gilgamesh tale into my story? Like, I don't think there would be actual Scorpion Men in, like, the world I'm trying to build is our world. And so the way I see it as, well, okay, these stories, they get more exaggerated over time. You know, maybe it was something else, and then it becomes, you know, you realize that the truth is actually a lot more human than that. But at the same time, I really like the idea of things in the past were potentially a lot bigger and more mysterious than we imagine. And that's one thing. Like, imagine there were these, I mean, there actually literally were massive statues that have since disappeared that existed in the past. So you know, I thought, yeah, that's a cool opportunity to just add a little bit of extra scale and intrigue to the past. By just with a single image. So that's why I thought this has to be a comic, because you can do that with one image. Whereas if you're writing a story, that would have to be a whole big drawn out kind of thing. But I thought I could just draw a single image and capture all of that idea into one thing. And that's why, you know, I think it works so well in this format.
Oh yeah, 100%. And as far as like big things, that was a little side quest. That's why I like Conan and Robert E. Howard a lot, because a lot of this stuff had to do with this sword and sorcery genre. Was that there's giant apes and giant snakes and the snake worshippers and giant gorillas, but it wasn't really too far-fetched in the realm of fantasy. It was just kind of, you know, Hyboria, and it wasn't that far out, really, you know.
Yeah, there's fantastical stuff going on in this book, but there are rules, there's limits. It is supposed to be our world, and all this stuff is happening around us. We're just not aware of it. That's very important to me. So there's not going to be actual Scorpion Men, but sure, why couldn't 4,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, there be these massive stone scorpion monoliths, you know, in the side of a mountain? Why not? And that in the underground with the guy all covered in blood and everything. So, you know, in the first book, things are just hinted at, and you just see one man in a suit. And now all of a sudden, now we see, oh, there's an actual building, and actually there's this really crazy cavernous underground catacomb of skulls, and what's all this going on? So yeah, it's like that's part of that. Yeah, building things up, and it gets gnarlier and bigger, and more intriguing.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, man. I love that. It reminded me of like the Mummy and like Indiana Jones, you know, Hellboy.
Mhm.
Like you're going into these massive like tombs and worlds and undergrounds, and you know who knows
Yeah,
what
and when
there
you
could be.
find
You
out
know,
in Painted Death, that's actually underneath Paris right now. That's set in
mm,
the present day, so
the
that adds a
catacombs.
little bit of extra cool thing to it as well. You know, this is still now. You know, this is the present day, and it's among us. This is underneath us. You can't see it.
It's like that movie, as above as below. I don't know if you've seen that one. I think that's what it's called.
I haven't seen that
The
one.
it takes place in the catacombs. It's all first person horror.
Hmm.
Really good movie. I thought it was really cool. In the first book, you had this scene of I believe Ella standing on a ledge, and there was
Hmm.
just buildings all around. It was a big epic shot. Everybody loved it. You know, everyone was talking about it.
Yep.
This one, you have this massive shot of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I
Yep.
think it's badass, man. How long did that take you to draw?
I blocked it out of my memory. I mean, way too long. I that's exactly what I was thinking, because that shot was sort of the establishing shot for the present day timeline, which is obviously probably the most time you're going to be spending in the whole series. And the way I think about these things, it's not just one book; it's the whole kind of series. You know, this is the first big shot. Here's Ella in this, you know, fantastical cityscape, which is this little character standing on the ledge. All right. um, so in this book, I wanted to do something that also caught people's eye as well, in terms of, you know, the actual look of the art and everything, but also a lot of the story happens in Paris. So I want to give an establishing shot for that as well. A lot of the series happens in Paris, I should say. And so I thought, oh yeah, I'll make an Eiffel Tower because it's so iconically Parisian, and you know, I'm gonna lead into and I was just like, and as soon as I started, I said, oh, this is gonna take forever, and it did, and I still haven't colored it, so I'm kind of putting that off, but yeah, I'll get there.
Yeah, it looks badass, dude. I like all the details in there. I was like sitting there baking out, looking at it one day. I wasn't baking, but I was just like, damn, he got in there
One
and
of
did
the
so
fun
much
things
detail.
about doing that is, on one live stream, I got sick of drawing or something, and I just started
Yeah.
adding in little characters, and I was saying it was all the people in the chat. It was a lot of fun. Ended up putting about 80 people into
Oh,
that
really?
scene as just little, I mean, they're just little dots. They look like little potato men at that scale. But, you know, like, here's Seven of Nine, and here's Snuggy Jr., and here's Lord Ravener, and here's Mel with the family, and here's Ethan. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's cool, man. I gotta know, man. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, again with the favorites. I have five. If I see if I can remember them. There's no possible way I could give you the favorite. There's Silence of the Lambs.
I got that one.
I put Lord of the Rings all in one movie.
Me too. That's funny you say that. Yeah, all six of them. We could probably do three, huh?
Yeah.
You don't collect The Hobbit, right?
I don't collect The Hobbit.
I do. Sorry.
Uh, Gladiator, maybe Gladiator.
I got that one too. Yeah, that's solid.
Um,
Can't wait for the sequel.
I love the V for Vendetta, which is a little bit of a curveball, but I just love
That was
that
pretty
movie.
good. Hugo Weaving is pretty awesome in there.
Maybe The Matrix.
First Matrix, pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't include the trilogy in that one. Just the first one.
It's just the first one was groundbreaking, you know, like earth shattering.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time Star Wars trilogy might have been in there, but I know I've gotten a bit cold on that of late.
About the whole past 5 years.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Exactly.
tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the prequels a lot, man. I like those the most, actually. I'm in the
Really?
minority on that. Yeah, I love that
No,
first
to
one,
me
man.
it's the OG original trilogy.
And I know that, like, you know, that was the, you know, the archetype, the iconoclast. You know, that's where it started. That's where a lot of special effects started. But for me, it was just that Darth Maul scene with Liam Neeson. Just, I love that. The music at the end. The dun, 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 dun. It's pretty dope. I mean, Jar Jar kind of, he brings the balance to it. His stupidity kind of levels it out. But it was cool. So
yeah,
a lot.
Look, a lot of the stuff that is sort of set design, world building, that's the stuff I really dig from the sequels. But I just don't connect with them on that level that I did with the first one. I think the stories weren't as good. The whole Anakin to Darth Vader didn't work for me. I didn't like the silliness. But yeah, there was a lot of, he put together a lot of uber talent together with the fighting and the music and the spaceships and the scenery. But I think he was just surrounded by yes men who weren't saying no to him.
It's not good.
So it was a bit like, I don't know, it didn't work for me.
Got to have some people to tell you no sometimes, you know.
You do, you really do.
Work, you know?
Yeah, that's very important, actually.
I actually have your campaign right now, man. Your web page. I was wondering if you like, I could share it. We could go over it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. That's cool, man. You have your own website now.
Yep.
Instead of using like a crowdfunding for the most part.
Moving up in the world. Yeah, I think if you get to a certain point, in terms of your reach, your audience, I think it's the smartest play for lots of different reasons. One, it's custom. You can really customize almost everything. And if I hired a developer to help me, I could customize so much other stuff. All of this stuff is out of the box, or plugins that I've attached to the default Shopify interface. But on top of that, obviously there's you're not paying platform fees. There's no danger of getting shadow banned or censored or anything like that. So yeah, it was a lot of work to get set up, but now that it is set up, I'm so glad I did it this way.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I love all the stuff you're offering right now, and I love the cover for the Waking Dream, the hardcover. And that's is that like a larger format than the original release?
Yeah, so here's the scale. That's the second printing of Waking Dream, and there's the scale that we're working with there. So it's significantly, you get a good 2 inches or so on the top and bottom on the sides.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, it's gonna be pretty epic. And if you haven't read an oversized comic, it's an experience. There's something about them. It really, that extra scale matters.
I'm doing that for my next book.
Yeah, you should. It's so, and that's why what I've wanted to do from the beginning is a hardcover album style, European style book.
Hell yeah.
And more people are getting more open to it. But when I first started mentioning hardcovers, everyone's like, "Oh, just do a hardcover collected edition." Because that's what they used to with Marvel. You get together 100 comics and put it into a big fat hardcover collected edition. But that's not what the French do. The French put out a hardcover book, 50 pages. And it's great. So I'm bringing that to crowdfunding. I'm not the first person to, obviously, but I'm joining the ranks of those who are doing it.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. And like a lot of times people want to do that for like a lot of like single issue floppies, and I think like something for this, it's usually probably doing like a big chapter, you know what I mean? And not that it matters either way, but I think it's kind of like saying like, this is the first book or this is the first chapter, and it's hardbound, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of fits in that too,
and as well, I mean, this second book is 100 pages, so I think it's big enough.
Pretty epic. Yeah, man. I love this shirt you did, man. It's pretty fucking metal. I love all the skulls down on the bottom and everything.
I've got a copy right here. So I had these ones printed out in this colorway. For Tampa. So this is like a limited edition, limited run Tampa t-shirt that I'll have over at the Comic Con in like a week.
So you flying over here, huh?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm coming over for a week. Yeah, I am. It's especially when people say, I'm going to see you there. That's what I'm really going for. I want to meet people. It's been years now that I've been hanging out with these people, either on Twitter or on YouTube. And I'm excited to actually meet them face to face.
Did you ever think about moving over here? Has that ever been a thought?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when we were being locked down communist style for 2 years. I don't know. It's always a little bit difficult moving to the States. I mean, it doesn't. I'm sure it probably doesn't seem like that from where you're sitting, where people are coming in all
I'm in California. It's hard to even move out of here, like unless you got a fat stack of cash and a job lined up
Exactly.
somewhere else. You know, I don't. So
Exactly.
I'm
That's
stuck here.
really what they want to see. They want to, especially if you're coming from overseas, you know, they want to see you've got a lot of money in the bank. They want to see that you've got a big income. They just want to make sure you're not going to be a tax burden, essentially. And yeah, I don't know. We're not quite there yet. So, but no, yes, absolutely. I would love to move to the States.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
Probably just like a small town somewhere
Totally.
where you know the housing is cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been thinking about like Texas, man. I'd like some spots in Florida too, look pretty cool. El Paso's looking pretty cool. Somewhere those 656 guys live. But what thing is, a lot of people aren't moving over there. They're just not. There's a lot of really big, like $100,000 houses, like USD, that are like, you know, 4 or 5 bedrooms. I'm like, wow, I wouldn't mind living over
I
there.
could get $100,000 house. I would get it like that.
Like,
you know, houses here are more
German
like
Shepherds.
1.5 to 2 million.
Yeesh. Oh.
So for like a 2 or 3 bedroom, it's absolutely
new builds over there, bro. El Paso. It's because everyone's thinking about like Houston, San Antonio, all the other ones, but they're not. They don't want to go down there. They're kind of afraid, you know, because it's by Juarez. Yeah. But I don't care. You know, it's like whatever. New builds. I'm really digging this hardcover puzzle you got right here. Looks really cool with the scorpion.
Yeah, it's fun. I did the horizontal because that's how it was like in the. So that's actually taken from a big panel in the book, and I did a painted version of that, and I kept it horizontal specifically because I thought I might want to make a poster of this one day or a puzzle. Yeah. Even though the hardcover is more cropped in, but yeah, that came out really well.
I'm sure a lot of people do this, but my buddy, I went to his house. He backed a big campaign, a big tier, and I was going to deliver him some of my artwork that I drew. And when his family, they do these puzzles, and when they solve them, they frame them. You ever hear about people doing that?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of people have framed my puzzles. I've seen that. They've sent me photos. It's pretty cool. We just shake them up and put them right back in the box.
Back in the box.
You know, we'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do too. Yeah. You got these this is the Rod Looper pages, right?
Yeah, so that's the book that I'll be doing after Painted Death, which is a shorter book, a 32-pager. It's an action one-shot set 6 months before Waking Dream happened. So cool. It's like a supplemental kind of book, but I've just got to have things that I need to be putting out in the meantime while I'm working on the main books. Otherwise, it'll just be way too long, in between. Yeah,
no, that's smart, man. That's brilliant. I saw you do like some of these sketch cards and the head sketches. Pretty cool stuff, man. You can pick those up too, right there.
Yeah, I put them up every week. So I think they come out Sundays in America. So I'll put up another 5. And yeah, for the last 3 weeks, they've been disappearing in minutes. So that's pretty cool.
How are you liking the doing the sketch cards?
I enjoy it. It's like a little, I mean, for me, I'm just sort of it's the same thing whenever I do traditional. I'm just sort of redoing art that I've done already. But, on a card. So it's actually quite relaxing, and the finished product looks great. You actually get an actual physical thing. You can see the strokes, all the blacks aren't uniform. Obviously it's,
you can switch the lighting up too if you want, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna light this.
And it's, of course it's because it's hand done, it is slightly different. So
yeah, always,
yeah, it's cool. I like it.
You can change the background. You could throw some rain in there, like get some paper clips or something. You can do a lot with it. Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm going down right here. That's awesome, man. That's the first campaign right there. That's the end. That's one of my favorite parts. First book. Love that sequence, man. You know who I think would be perfect to direct this would be Christopher Nolan. I think he would be great for Lucy.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Nolan has sort of become that guy who makes these really cerebral, thinking man's movies.
Yeah, and, I want to see Oppenheimer. That looks dope, dude.
Yeah, I think so as well. And hey, if people want to compare this to a Nolan film, please do. I'm all
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I get that. I get that. That that vibe when I'm reading it. Yeah, man. And then I could go this campaign right here. Take me to a new link, right?
Yeah, that'll take you to all the
goodies,
perks and things, you campaign add-ons and everything you can grab.
Here we go. Love that.
Getting very close to 48,000, which is very exciting. Just what's that,
cool.
120 bucks away.
And you smashed your last goal from the last campaign.
Oh yeah, I think we made 45,000 in the whole year and a half. And actually, it's not even a fair comparison, apples to apples. That's without shipping. So if I count shipping as well, I can actually tell you. I can actually look here in the back end of the website and tell you if this were happening on Indiegogo and that did count shipping, this would be over 55,000.
Dang.
Which has completely, I mean, we didn't get anywhere near that on the first book in the whole year and a half, and hasn't even been a month here. So
I didn't know that was the cover with the Scorpion Man. I always thought it was a different one. That's dope, dude.
Well, okay, so I'm doing hard. So I've got the two. Actually, if you scroll down a little bit, it explains it underneath all the perks and stuff.
Okay.
Keep going. Nice. Just under that, I think. Yeah, there you go. So those are the two soft covers. So that's one on the right, that's Waking Dream. That's the second edition. That's already printed.
I got the first.
So so that's one dope. With Ella falling, that's going to have UV spot. I don't like that the first edition had on the the Waking Dream campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you keep scrolling, now we have the hardcover editions.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, so Painted Death is with the Scorpion guys, and then Waking Dream is in the cave. And
I got to put my favorite covers on the hardcover.
No, and dope, dude. So I think the soft covers, they're like a bit blue toned,
and these are gold, right?
About Ella. Yeah. And then these are a bit more gold and yellow, and they're about the
past
ancient timeline. So it's sort of like you get a little bit of each.
Love it, man.
Yeah,
I'd love to get.
I'm really happy with how these came out.
Everyone wants the hardcover, you know.
Yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, and you got to have somewhere to keep them. You put them on the bookshelf, but I just think they're rad. I love them.
So awesome, dude. Leave them right there on the coffee table too. Sometimes, depending.
Yeah,
I love so this right here on the right. This is Paris, right?
Yep, that's underground right now as we speak, and you can see. Right? I mean, there's a lot of skulls there. You would imagine that would take a long time to collect all those skulls.
Some stories.
So I want people wondering, where do they get all those skulls from?
That's metal, dude.
What are they for? Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, and in this picture on the left too, there's a lot to investigate right there. A lot to unearth.
Yep. Yeah, there's lots of little hidden stuff in there,
I should say. Oh man, I love these pages. Get the fan art contest.
Yeah, what are we about $2,100 away from putting on a fan art contest, which will be my very first that I've ever done.
That's cool, man.
That'll be cool. We'll see how that goes.
Seeing all these different people drawing your characters is kind of weird. Because you'll get probably a mass abundance, I would think, of people.
It's great. Well, already people have started doing it just of their own volition, and I've been loving it. I mean, we're probably talking about 12 all up, but it's been great. So yeah, to do it officially and have people kind of compete for it, that I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
I'm gonna have to get some kind of character examples and stuff, and what
some turnarounds or something.
Yeah, and what we've kind of seen them do, so people have a bit more context to work with.
Powers.
Yeah.
The more info, the more you could do, right?
Exactly. Yeah, people. I'm thinking a lot of people are probably going to want to draw Ella, but maybe they want to draw that guy with the in the cave. Maybe they want to draw
That's what I'd be drawing.
Gilgamesh. I don't know.
I'd be drawing like Gilgamesh. Probably like I'm just saying like if I like that's the type of stuff I'm into, you know. Like if I'm working with somebody like on a character or something, I like want details like as much as possible, you know. Like I like even the stupid stuff, you know. I like to know everything. Yeah, that's so cool, man. And,
yeah, and that's the cool thing about having a website. So I've actually spoken to an artist about doing some, because I don't have time. I'm working on pages, you know, now. So I've actually spoken with an artist to see, hey, would you want to do some little character things for me that I can put on the homepage so that people can have that reference? That's the cool thing. You have your own site. You can do that stuff. Rini has got this awesome site full of world building stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to get this towards as well. So, you know, you got the website with all the stuff, and then, you know, when the campaigns are live, you can click through and get them, and when they finish, it becomes an online store. It's such a really great
it's
kind of central hub to have.
It's essential, man, and it's perfect like for when you get there. Like that's the way to do it, you know. Would you ever probably not now, but maybe let's say maybe 3 or 4 more Lucent books in, would you do a Lucent Bible?
Yeah, absolutely.
For people
I love
like
that
for the characters and whatnot, you know?
Yeah, like a encyclopedia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, totally I would. Because there's so much of this story that I've written that may never even get onto a page. You know, just like world building notes and stuff like that.
I remember McFarlane had that for Spawn, the Spawn Bible. I mean, and now there's so much cool stuff we could do with that. Like, say you did like a leather bound one, like the Kill Journal, you know? Not necessarily meaning it has to be a Bible, but you know, like, but you have all that.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Bestiary in there, you know.
Actually, funny you should mention the prequels. I don't know how I got my hands on it, but I've got a whole bunch of these big folders that I don't know what they were made for, but they're essentially that, and they're just like ring binder type folders. They're about this big each of prequel stuff.
Just all
I don't know where they are right now. They're probably in the friggin' shed somewhere in a box, but yeah, they were cool. It's lots of just little, you know, this is what this spaceship is, and that's what this people wear from this planet and stuff like that. Yeah, I have so much stuff I could put into a compendium.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome, man. And like some of the characters I know have, I'm just guessing they have powers you could have, you know, like with like a bestiary, you know, like if you had werewolves or something, like, you know, that's I'm a sucker for that type of stuff.
Yeah, the way the powers work in this, and you know, we're not really I don't really get into too much in the stories, but I don't mind like talking about it too much, because it's just it doesn't really give anything away. But I've said this a bunch of times. The way the powers are in the Lucent, it's a bit like, again, I'm trying to make it more grounded. It's a bit like in real life with sport. You know, I can pick up a basketball and bounce it and shoot it in the hoop to a degree. But then I'm walking on the same planet as Michael Jordan and all these professionals who are, you know, all essentially, compared to me, they're like superhuman.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like that. You've got some people who are just, you know, they can do a little bit here and there. It's whatever. Some people can't do anything. And then there are some people who are just out of this world, and you know, and obviously they're the most interesting people.
That's cool, man. And you have your book's priced right here for, you know, the hardcover is $35. Shipping from what is it from Australia to the US right now? I know
$15. So actually the hardcovers are 40 if you just get one. If you get two, then they're 35.
Oh, okay.
That's
cool.
2 for 70.
That's a good deal, man.
And then it's flat $15 shipping worldwide. You'll get a little bit of a bogan rate for the Aussies, but everywhere else it's $15 flat. And that's regardless of how much you get. You can even come back and say, oh, I want to get a t-shirt or a puzzle or something that I didn't get on my order. You can buy that and you use the code free shipping. You won't pay shipping. And but that'll only work if you've previously backed the campaign. I actually had a guy ask that today. How do I get the free shipping? I was like, well, you got to back first. And then you want free shipping again.
Existing backers of any physical perk can use code free shipping at checkout on additional purchases. It says it right there.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah. Well, you hear that, everybody? Come and pick these books up. I have the first one, first print, suckers. So come over here, get the first one if you haven't gotten it yet. Painted, then get
There's
get
probably,
painted
I
death.
don't know how many of them are out there because I did have to pulp a whole bunch of them due
Yeah,
to printing problems. Probably about somewhere in the range of 11 to 1200 of the first editions out there floating around somewhere. So yeah,
it's
nice
not that
rare
many,
book.
dude. I mean, it's
No,
a
it
lot.
isn't.
We kind of think it's a lot, but
Yeah.
it's not that many. You know what I mean? When in like the
No.
grand scheme of things, like that'll go pretty quick. Oh, we got a bunch of
Yeah.
people in the chat saying hello.
Hello,
Sorry
hello.
guys. What up, Derek? If you guys are still there, no, 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 Mad Damon. Hell yeah, Scotty doesn't know. I don't know if you ever seen Euro Trip, Bancroft. That's a hilarious movie. Matt Damon's in there in the
Rings
beginning
a
of the movie.
bell, but I don't know if I have.
Yeah, Euro Trip. Phantasmagorical. How's it going? Hill, thanks for stopping by. All right. Timothy Olson. How's it going, man? How you doing? We got Timmy. Yeah, Apex. What's up, dude? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, we got Bascom. Long time no see.
My little birdies are everywhere.
Yeah, man. Do you what's your favorite beer, man? You still drinking the Victoria?
Obviously, VB has to be my brand now.
Yeah.
I like lots of different beers. I like I don't like them too dark.
Mm-hmm.
What you're drinking there looks like I would enjoy that. But I've
This is
actually haven't been drinking much beer of late.
Rolling
Trying
Rock,
to not.
cheap beer,
Yeah,
extra
I'm
pale.
sure I'll be drinking a bunch of beer in the States, but of late I've been trying to actually like make the weight go down, not up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been haven't been imbibing much of late.
Yeah, I drink like maybe twice a week, sometimes once or
Mhm.
twice a week. Yeah, I usually drink usually when I do my live stream. Just kind of have a
Yep.
beer and chill.
That's what I was doing, but I was live streaming every day, so
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're live
it
streaming.
was
Yeah.
it's getting a bit round in the belly.
Let's see, we got right here. Oh yeah, me too. The Lucent, a film by Christopher Nolan.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, man. Everyone that hasn't backed the book, you guys gotta come and check it out, man. Let's see here. On these Bancroft and lawn mowing shape for when takes vacation.
Mel doesn't get to go on vacation. She's a mother. It's not allowed.
Yeah, no vacation for you. So so you have this book lined up right now. You're working on this right now. How many do you have it completed, or you're still working on it?
Not
You said right.
completed. It's I work very strangely. I jump around from thing to thing. I was on a drawing kick a few months ago. Now I'm on a coloring kick. I want to get as much coloring as I can possibly get done. And that's what I'm really focused on right now until probably the end of this year. As I said, it's a big book, and coloring is really probably for me the biggest job.
It's the
It's so
hardest,
much
right?
that goes into it. The draw, like probably pages. I think I've got it's somewhere in the vicinity of 13 or 14 pages that are unfinished out of the 100, but they're at various stages of finish. Some of them are blank. Most of them have half the characters drawn, or the backgrounds are drawn but not the characters, or the characters drawn but not the backgrounds. I just tend to always like to just do whatever I feel like doing at the time.
That's
And that's
smart.
the way I stay productive.
Yeah, that's
If
how
I
you keep doing
I
it.
kind of go page to page, I'll find myself like, oh, I really don't want to do that right now.
Burns
So I'll
you out,
just
dude.
go on, lie down on the couch out of
Yeah.
exhaustion. Whereas if I
No,
feel like, you know what, I could do a little bit of flatting right now or whatever.
yeah. That flatting's kind of brutal, Like for me, I would just work on like Butch Cleaver just nonstop, And now I'm just like, I'm working. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. I'm working on a new book called Hell War now, but I work on that, and then I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna go work on some fan art, Or hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a commission. Then I'll go back to my Hellwar book, and now I'm like back from the well of rejuvenation, basically.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly. Yeah.
inspired now to
And
work on my own stuff.
even in the day, like early in the morning, I want to work on something and later in the day, I want to just relax with some sketch cards or something.
Exactly,
so always
man.
have something that you can do.
Yeah, and I learned that
Rather
from
than
Sim.
forcing yourself to do everything.
That Sim Poutier, he was always working on like a lot of different things at once, and I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, I should try to do that sometime, you know. And it's helped me out a lot. I'm like always just, you know, and then working on another book with Brian right now, Kreisgau. So I have a lot of different things, and it just keeps things more interesting. And you do that too. And the coloring part takes a long time. Huh? I'd say that's like a
long time
consuming,
it
right?
really
For me, it
is.
was.
Once I get that out of the way, I feel so much better. Just I really feel like, all right, I've really made headway into this. But having that, it's kind of like carrying around this massive gorilla on your back. I need to
Yep.
get it off
Yeah.
and get it done, and then I'll feel so much more confident saying, okay, this book will be delivered at this time. I'll be able to guess how much longer it's going to take me to finish pages and stuff. So yeah, I'm really super focused right now on getting these pages colored. And cool, the other good thing about when you're doing coloring is at the end of it, you get a nice cool page. Like, oh look, it looks
Yep.
great.
Yeah, that reward.
It's a nice little reward as you go.
Would you ever consider the idea, or like entertain the notion of hiring a flatter?
Yes, I have hired flatters in the past. I run into lots of problems. First of all, I don't draw in pages. It's a real issue for me. It's just the way I do it. It's how I've always done it. And I find it hard to get out of it now. And I just like it. I like working in panels. So it's hard to find someone who's like, hey, can I send you panels? And they're like, I work in pages. So that's been tricky. And also I end up, and this is no slight on flatters, I always end up having to fix a lot of stuff. And I've gone through about 8 at this point. And I end up just fixing a lot of it. And it's taking me time to go in, check everything, fix up all this stuff. And I end up just like, I'll just do it myself. You know?
That's just because you're spending more time going back and fixing it to the way that you want it. It has to
Exactly.
be that way.
And some of these pages, not all of them, but some of them have some really autistic levels of detail on it. And I'll be like, I want each of those books individually. I know, not that I want them all individually colored, but I don't want it to just look like a flat wall of green books. I want it to look like at least different tones of colors. And people are like, and I'm just going to flat it all as one color. I'm like, well, all right, then I guess I'll pay you, and then I'll go and do it myself on top of that.
Yeah, because you want all those different tones, right?
Exactly. So
different shades.
It's a work in progress, but yes, I would absolutely work with a flatter if I can figure it all out.
And you got to find the flatter that like works that's on the same.
I remember.
Same as you, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember watching colors with Kurt videos, and he's like, my flatter does the flats in the colors that actually almost spot onto the palette he's going to use in the book. And he's like, his hearing his flatter just like understand each other so well.
They have a working relationship.
It's almost to the point where he's ready to just start rendering.
Yeah, it's
doesn't need
simpatico.
to change colors. And I was like, wow, now that sounds like a dream. Usually when I work with flatters, I get back this kaleidoscope of fluorescent.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? It's a little too. It's kind of like a kaleidoscopic, like overwhelming. Amount
Yeah, and I get the reason behind it. It's so they do that so you can see any
little thing
outside the line pretty easily.
For me, when I flat, I kind of like it's like an undercolor. Like I still like to see like what's going on, even with the flats.
Yeah, I started doing the psychedelic thing. I did it maybe about it a little bit, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna go to the palette that I actually want to use because even though you do end up with some mistakes, I like to see it come into being.
Yeah, it's still coming. It's still like starting. You know what I mean? It's like an underpainting.
Yeah.
Would you how do you feel about like live painting, like or actual like not digital but regular painting? Have you ever done that at all?
I've done it years and years ago. I did some oil painting, some
Okay.
acrylic, I
Nice,
think,
nice.
some watercolor, but we're talking
Dope,
years
dope.
ago, and
But
I
you've
don't
done
know.
it before, right?
I've done it, and I was actually
Cool,
quite
man.
happy with how the oil painting came out, which was
Yeah.
surprising. I found that quite fun. You know, you can really blend really amazingly with that stuff, but yeah, it's not something I would probably get back into
Anytime soon.
very quickly. Yeah, I'm just too busy.
Like
Not
for me,
adding
like
another.
my ultimate like retirement goal is like somewhere like Mexico beach front, Spain,
Mhm.
Ireland, Norway, something like that, right? And I'm there painting, like painting like Frazetta style stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I
Oh,
want
that
to
would
do.
be amazing. Yeah.
Um, but I was watching a lot of the Kelsey streams in the morning. He was doing some of the painting stuff. That was really fun to watch. And I think a lot of the like, Bob Ross, it's in the happy accidents. It really is. And also too with like the inking process too. Like there's so many accidents that occur that just turn into
Yeah.
something that should have been there that was not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Even when I work digitally, I try to not fix them,
Oh
by
yeah,
undoing or erasing over the top of them. I do try to let that stuff
take the hit and work
um
with it, make
stay.
it
Yeah,
make it part of
as
the
much
art.
as I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool, man.
It doesn't always work out that way, but I do my best to try and make the process that I'm doing something you could do traditionally as well if you were so inclined. I don't use, like the tree brush and go, oh look, we've got a whole line of trees. I don't do anything like
Surgical. He's so surgical with it. You know what I mean? Like I love Tubi, and he has his own channel on Tubi. It's free. I know you don't think you guys have Tubi over there, but
No.
Tubi is a badass free streaming service, and they have a Bob Ross channel that's on 24/7. You can just
Yeah.
wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
kind of puts me in a nice headscape, and just watching him do that stuff is
In a
pretty
happy
fun.
place. There's some happy clouds. Why
Kind of,
not?
yeah, it kind of is, man. I think Christopher John works on panels and not in pages as well. I know Ink is doing the supplemental that way. I can't wait for Frog G. That book is beautiful looking.
I'm a graphic designer by trade, so I do a lot of desktop publishing. It just makes sense to me that I arrange the actual book in InDesign by getting the images and putting them where I want them. I can zoom them a little bit. I can crop things out that weren't working as well as I thought they were when I did it the first time, that sort of stuff. So it just works for me. And
Oh yeah,
plus, it's going to make it that much easier for me to scale up to the hardcover as well when I do that. So yeah.
you're going to be going over to Paris anytime soon, France? You have any plans for going over there vacating?
No, we usually used to go over there all the time,
I
but
remember you were saying stuff like that on some of your streams.
yeah. You used to go there every couple of years, but then there was the lockdown and everything. And Mel and the kids went back just recently. And for me, I was getting this Painted Death campaign set up, so I really
Oh
couldn't
yeah.
get away. But also, I mean, I'm coming to America. It's not like we're not that high flying, jet setting kind of people. So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to go to Paris and the US. So
Right.
I thought I'll go over to the US. I've been to Paris so many times now.
Get some
Pattern.
BDs next time, or you can get them online now. There's so many
I
that I
got
like.
yeah,
On the
you
list, dude.
can. Oh yeah, I did get a couple. Mel brought back some, but
So many
yeah,
I
there's
want.
just too many.
There's so many like right now. There's so many books I want to get, like just in like CG and like people crowdfunding books. I can't get them right now. I just can't. But there's just so many I want. Can't wait to check it out.
It's the way it is. Well, I've got a whole bunch of books. I don't even have time to read them anymore.
Yeah, I have 30. I have 30 books, and I'm going to review them all. You know what I mean? But I can't I just can't do it.
I like doing the shows where I talk about the book with the creator.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, I like those shows
because it forces me to actually read them.
Yeah,
I can. Okay, cool. This is work. I can justify taking some time to read this.
I'm trying to get on a schedule.
Yeah, that's the way I have to do everything. But unfortunately, everything I don't have a spare half an hour in my day. Everything's
actually right in here.
Out.
I try to schedule everything. Doing a little trading card right there for somebody's campaign. Put that in there. Even on my work breaks, I'll work in my car. Take my pencil book or pencil and pen thing. I'm always kind of working, trying to get in there. I learned that one from Shelby. He said that he worked at a pharmacy at one point and he was knocking out like pages on his breaks.
That's how this story started. That's how I started writing the Lucent, was on my
Yeah.
work breaks. Yeah, just go into my car, be alone with a laptop, and just type away.
I also have we have these little notepads at my new job. I started a new career this year, and on my breaks, I take the pad into the room and in the break room, and I'm just like busting out little thumbnails for like sketch cards, and there's a lot of people, they can just do sketch cards, just like boom, like just throw it down right there. Like, no, I can't do that. I have to plan it out. Like everything's got to have like.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't really
do that.
Impromptu sketches or anything like that. I'm not there yet. Maybe
Me
one
neither.
day.
Yeah, me too. I'm not there yet, so I'm like, but it's fun though. I got a dude holding a gun in here, and then he's got a laser over here or something, and yeah, it's pretty cool. We got a Coop Junkie. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Well, shoot, thanks for coming on, open the gates, Mike. I really appreciate it, man. It's been really fun.
Oh no, I appreciate hanging out. I love talking about the book and myself. And I mean, we needed to catch up. It's been too long.
Yeah, hopefully we catch up again when sooner than later, man. I was about to tell you I'm doing a large format book too.
Cool.
Your book's what is like 100.
The other one you're working on?
Yeah, it's called Hell War. It's like it's a Norse bounty hunter. It's like a cross between Lobo, Thor, and the Incredible Hulk. Like kind of. Nice. I mean, just to kind of give a quick.
I have a Viking story.
I remember you saying that.
A Viking wizard story that I'm writing for the Lucent.
That's another question I wanted to ask you, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to fucking ask him that. And I totally forgot about the Viking thing, but I was like, what else is there that you were working on? But is that something that you would?
I mean, it's all within the Lucent universe.
Oh, no shit, really?
Lucent spans, goes all the way back to prehistory, so I can put stories in anywhere. And I love Norse stuff.
Me too.
And I love old English stuff, kind of pre
Beowulf and stuff.
Yeah. And so I thought, all right, I've got characters that would work in that. Let's do a little story here. So yeah, that's probably going to be the next one I'm going to put Rod to work on.
Oh, nice. That's exciting.
If he'll have me.
Oh, here we go. I'm sure you will. If not, I'm sure there's some more people out there that will. I'm pretty sure we've seen a few times. Van Croft is a great host.
Thank you, Jason.
Sweet, man. Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that. Maybe you can come back on again sometime and we can talk about the next book.
That'll be a little bit in the future. I'm still writing that, so that'll be a ways off yet, but probably be coming out, after my third book or something. So
okay,
got a while to go.
Hell yeah, man. Well, shoot, where can everybody find you at, Mike?
So website is thelucentcomic.com. That's the main hub. Nice. I'm Michael Bancroft on YouTube, and I'm at the Lucent Comic on Twitter. That's my main haunts. That's where I'll be
haunting. I have the link up pinned at the chat. So if you guys want to go to Mike's website, you can go there, pick up anything Lucent. I highly suggest you do that. Books are epic, and I can't wait to read the next one. And
can't wait to hear what you think about it.
Oh, for sure, man. And thanks again for coming by, Mike. I really appreciate it. And as always, folks, thanks for watching. Remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.